Good evening, and we're rocking and rolling now. Day one of Royal Ascot is down. We've still got 4 more to go. This is In the Know, brought to you by the Racing Post and Coral. My name is Ross Brierley, and, well, what a day we've had today. It's, again, in hindsight, all seems fairly simple, doesn't it? The Irish Guineas threw up the big winner. In fact, the English horse and the Irish Guineas beat the Irish horse from the Irish Guineas, and the French horse from the French Guineas, with the English Guineas winner well out the back. But elsewhere, what else do we have? The Aussies won the sprint. Who knew? Sir Mark Prescott winning a staying handicap. Who knew? Willie Mullins winning a staying handicap at Royal Ascot. Who knew? And a Lock-inch throwing up the Queen Anne winner as well, with 2 Ascot horses in behind. I'm sure with those results on the card that you all at home had a very, very good day indeed. There are already some absolutely gold-plated after-timers in the chat, and I love you for it. I really do. I don't know who said. Someone just came on and said, in fact, it was Stevens99. He said, feel free to put the winners up before the races. And I agreed entirely. Get them involved in the chat for day 2 of Royal Ascot. But it was a cracking day. We saw some fantastic rides. We saw some big stories as well. Billy Loughnane, of course, getting his first Royal Ascot winner. First of many, I'm sure. He's got a wild old future in the saddle. And ride of the day, I think, has to be Sean Levy-on-Rosalie. Never mind that one box. He was on the best horse that had quite the turn of foot, and he quickened up to score beautifully. We've got a cracking Prince of Wales tomorrow, and much more besides as well. But let me introduce you to our panel for the evening, starting off with the man to my left, who was absolutely adamant that one box wouldn't make any issue whatsoever. I sat there saying he was all dressed up with nowhere to go, and then suddenly the limo door opened and out he popped.
Yeah, really enjoyed that race, unsurprisingly.
I bet you did.
Yeah, the pressure's off. I did say at the start of the week that Rosalien was my 10-star nap, and now that he's won, I can enjoy the rest of the week. And it was amazing, wasn't it? How the Red Sea parted and let him through all those little gaps. But you've got to have the horse to get through them, Ross, and he had the horse, didn't he?
He did have it, and he obviously had that turn of foot, which he showed at the Curragh, and he showed again today. Oddly enough, he actually ended up being in a better position than William Buick on Notable Speech. For a second, I thought Ryan Moore was going to stack them all up from the wide outside, and obviously there'll be more to come from Henry Longfellow. That's only his first real run of the season, is it, as a 3-year-old? But yeah, the classic generation is starting to hot up quite nicely. Rivalries being solidified. Yeah,
we thought it was a good race beforehand. I thought it delivered. Bar Notable Speech, of course, who was a massive disappointment and showed nothing like the form that he showed at Newmarket. But other than that, the other 2 best horses in the race finished first and second. They were nicely clear, weren't they? So what more can you ask?
Exactly. Would you like? I think you deserve that.
Thank you, Ross.
There you go, mate. Lovely stuff.
King Rodway.
Genuinely,
do I get to go in the procession tomorrow?
You do, but you're right at the back, and you're not allowed to go down the track until after they've run the Windsor Castle.
Okay.
So, but that I just genuinely see you there.
Me?
Yeah.
King Rodway.
Yeah. You look a benign king. Lovely stuff. There we go. Graeme Rodway. Tom Segal also not bothered about that one draw either. Like you said, he had the horse under him and he used it. What an engine he's got. What else did you like from today? Obviously, that was probably the highlight. But did you get the tri-cast up in the Coventry?
Didn't get the tri-cast up in the Coventry, that's for sure. That was impossible. I mean, I didn't fancy any of them. But there we go. That's what the Coventry is, isn't it? It's all about horses improving massively on what they've done before. To be fair, he was unlucky, and he was a bit of an eye catcher at Chester. I think it was Chester last time. Yeah. And you could see him running well, winning at Coventry. Geez, that one took a bit of thing. I thought, obviously Rosalien was the star of the show. I thought my joyous moment was watching the 25th best Australian sprinter beat our bunch of ragtag, useless, sprinters. Then look, they're fine. That's harsh on regional. Very nice horse. Does lots of good. But my God, are we rubbish at sprinting in this country? And yet we breed so many sprinters, and we have so many sprints, and they're all rubbish. But There we go. Lead them to it. Yes. Get on with it. If that's what we want, if that's what we're supposed to want, brilliant.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to disagree, I guess. I mean, yeah, the best thing that ever happened to regional was having a couple of things lopped off before he left Richard Fahey. Because if he still had him and won a couple of those races, he wouldn't have been running today, would he? But he kept going.
I like the Ascot Stakes. I was on Divine Comedy, who ran an absolute blinder and got done by a Prescott special. I thought I got a very good ride, the winner. He was in stall 1, and you noticed right from the start, Luke Morris didn't want to go anywhere near the inside. He got him out into the middle of the track, got him on a clear run. I mean, he's a bit, let's put it like this, ungainly in a finish, Mr. Morris. But I thought he was good. I thought he was tactically very aware there. He got him out, got him clear run, and as much as I wanted Divine Comedy to get by him, he just couldn't. Although Kaya Fraser gave her a brilliant ride too, and I was just a little bit frustrated. But there we go. I thought it was a really enjoyable first day. I really liked it. Sharon was good.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. I mean, obviously there was question marks, I guess, over Sharon's handling the track. But again, the right form lines. You had your Ascot horses in there. You had the Lockinge holding up, and we saw a real performance from Sharon because, I mean, did they go off a little bit quick, Tom? I think they might have got off just a little bit quick in the early stages, just a little bit, just a tiny.
It's possible, Ross. It's possible. But what I like about Sylvester de Souza is it's just no nonsense. There's no mucking about on any of his horses. Do you know what I mean? I'm a massive SDS fan, always have been, and I just some people are playing silly games the whole time. He's never playing silly games. He gets his horses out, and while most people's often think that they're going to fall in a hole, Sylvester's horses, and they never do they? They keep rolling the whole time. He gets the revs up, and he gets them going, and they never stop. And I thought, look, in hindsight, he's the best horse, easy ride and whatever. But I just like the no-nonsense aspect of the way he rides horses, wherever it is. And so I was pleased for him because I think he's a top-class jockey. He was a bit unlucky with what happened to him in Hong Kong, and I was really pleased to see him. He's had a great year, obviously, with the 1,000 Guineas winner as well. So always a positive for me when there's an SDS on the back of one of my horses.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Simon Clare, good evening to you again today. What was the highlight for you? And throw a few price boosts in as well. And also our producer, probably worth throwing in the Sussex Stakes market as well, because we could have a right old lineup this year if all goes to plan.
Yeah, well, look, I thought the highlight of the day, obviously from a Coral perspective, was Israel winning with Jim Crowley, the Coral ambassador, on board.
And your nap, Si. And your nap.
My nap. And it was my nap. Do you know, I had to double check that because I was really keen on Big Evans as well. And I couldn't actually remember which of them I'd nap. But unfortunately, I did nap Israel with Jim's confidence ringing in my ears. In terms of the Sussex Stakes, I should be able to call that up in a second. We'll get to that in a second. But the obviously, price boost, we've got Make Haste. In the first race, we've got 2 horses Dutch, Make Haste or Truly Enchanting to win the Queen Mary. That's 3-1 from 5-2. Both of them 6-1 current market leaders, although given the result in the Coventry backing the 2 favourites in the Queen Mary, the first 2-year-old race tomorrow might not look so wise. And we've got Ocean Murphy, obviously had a good day today, to ride a winner at Ascot tomorrow. He's 2-1 from 6-4. He's got a strong book of rides. Kasaya at 10-1 for the Queen Mary. Mina Rashid in the Queen's Vase at 12. Running Lion in the Duke of Cambridgeshire. 7 Wild Tigers is shortest in the Royal Hunt Cup. And then Vertivier and Cheval de Guerre later races. Works out about even money if you were to back them all collectively, but you get 2-1 on Ocean Murphy to ride a winner tomorrow. And I should mention, Phoenix of Dreams for the Coral Racing Club is just about to run at Beverley in the 6:40. A minute to go. He's finished 4th and 3rd. He's a really exciting horse for the club. We're hoping to go very close today. There's an odds-on favourite, Copple Hall Lane, in the field. We're 9-4. I know John and Sean Quinn really like this horse, and hopefully he'll run really well. If he doesn't win, I'll be very keen he finishes second, and they'll get a handicap mark, and then we'll be into handicap company.
Okay, yeah, lovely stuff, and lovely group of people, the Quins as well. Always want more success for John and Sean. I was going to say one more thing, but it's completely escaped me. Well, actually, I was going to say, get it in the chat. We're going to have an advert in a second, but get your best bet on Wednesday in the chat. Put the name of the horse in capitals, and I'll give them a shout out as the show goes on. And try and pick them out through the general chatter. But we'll be on to day 2 of Royal Ascot after this. let's get involved then. Royal Ascot Day 2. I remember what I was going to say, Simon. Actually, it was I do quite fancy a couple of Ocean Murphys quite strongly tomorrow, so I hope that price boost comes in. So better late than never that thought emerged from my brain. But the Queen Mary kicking us off tomorrow. The fillies 5 furlong juvenile race, of course. 26 of them lining up. And truly enchanting and make haste. Irish Raiders are 6-1. The pair. Leah Varney is 13-2, Miss Rascal 15-2, Kasaya 10s, Ultima Grace 10s, Enchanting Empress 12s, Mighty Eriu is 14s, and then there's loads of others, including York winner Betty Clover, of course, the beautifully bred Sphericals in there, course winner Zanti, and a couple more Carl Burke horses in there as well. And this is a kind of expectedly open race, 6-1 the field, and very similar at market to the Coventry today, which obviously threw up some very big prices involved. I'm going to come to you first, Tom, because you generally love a 2-year-old race. But yeah, similar field to the Coventry. 6-1 the field, anything could win it, and obviously loads and loads of horses who are very lightly raced. Now, over the years, this has been pretty good for sort of American raiders and Irish raiders, and the British horses haven't done quite as well in this race. But again, this is another anything can win it kind of contest, isn't it? Or are you about to tell me different?
Well, no, of course it is. Like we saw today, I mean, they've only run once or twice, haven't they? So they're all open to loads of improvement, obviously, as we saw this afternoon with the Coventry. Personally, I like Miss Rascal a bit. I thought she was a big eye catcher at Newmarket at the start of the back of Havana Gold. Then came to Ascot and won making the running. I think she doesn't really want to make the running. I think that form's worked out quite well. I know it was only an Italian listed race. The runner-up won last time, but I think she won doing handsprings really. So I quite like Miss Rascal in this, provided the draw's okay. I think she's in 6. I think there's some of the American horses are over that side, some of them are this side. So I didn't think there was any great advantage with the draw today. So I like Miss Rascal, and I'm a pedigrees man at heart, so I have to be on Kasaya as well, because she's a Kingman half sister to Chaldean, who won the 2,000 guineas. She ran at Salisbury on her debut. She looked all over the winner, pulled too hard in very soft ground, and got done by one of Eve Johnson Horton's that had a run back in third. Was the horse that finished second in the race at Epsom, which I'll never remember the name, Woodcut. And there's been some winners in behind. And then she went to Nottingham. She sort of stumbled, lost her footing a bit, a couple of furlongs out, but came home a really easy winner. And Archie Watson's running horses from there, had a horse in there that was good breeze up horses running in the Windsor Castle, I think. And I just think that was probably a good race too. So that'd be my 2 against the field. But you could make a case for loads of them. I was quite interested in Gavin Cromwell's 2-year-old. Gavin Cromwell, the winner of the Kim Muir. The trainer and winner of the Kim Muir and the, the Albert Bartlett, and second in the Grand National. He's 2 from 2 with 2-year-olds at Royal Ascot. And he's got Mighty Eriu running. And it's quite interesting that Qatar Racing bought her after her debut run well over 6 furlongs when she didn't quite get home. He's just dangerous. He's just dangerous, Gavin Cromwell. Drawn on this side, just where his 2-year-old winner of this race was a few years back. I could see her going well, but I like Miss Rascal most and Kasaya next.
Okay, yeah, good trainers win good races regardless, I guess, don't they, if they get the right horses. But yeah, Miss Rascal was the first one. I really like her. She was one of the most eye-catching 2-year-olds I think I've ever seen on debut in a race that always works out well. Thrown up loads of winners at Rodders, and yeah, they were all going hell for leather on board, the 2-year-olds ahead of her, and she was coasting home on the bridle and still managed to go past most of them. I feel like last time the making all was just we're just going to win this race. We know we'll win this race, pop out, dictate and get on with it. I don't necessarily think that's what they'll do tomorrow, but yeah, she's very interesting. But again, 26 to throw in.
Having a half-decent season, aren't they, Paul and Oliver Cole?
They are.
I liked Mighty Aereo for Gavin Cromwell. Tom's already made a pretty strong case as to why. I actually escaped my attention that he's got such a good record with juveniles at the meeting. He did win this race with Quick Susie a couple of years ago. Just first time out, I mean, the time's good. Second behind Tunbridge Wells, showed plenty of speed, travelled nicely through the race. That was 6, this is 5. That's all I can give you.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of form to go on, and there's a bit of a guess up. But to me, Mighty Airie's got one of the best times in the race. Dropping back in trip, I like horses that can run fast over further and then come down in distance like she is.
Especially at Ascot.
Ascot, where it's a stiff track, and she's open to loads of improvement on top of that because she's only had one run. But don't get me wrong, if there's an 80-1 winner like Rashabar, nothing would surprise me. I mean, some of these juvenile races in the last few years have been almost impossible to get the winner of. Like the Norfolk, for example, there's been 150-1 winner and a 50-1 winner of that in the last 2 years. The one thing you would say in this race has been 4 favourites, I think, win, and 8 out of the 10 last winners were all in single figures. So if you want to bet in a 2-year-old race, this has been a good one. The form does tend to stand up in this. Yeah,
apart from if you following the O'Brien 2-year-olds, this is the race he has the worst record in 0 from 16 in the Queen Mary, with only 5 of them placed, which makes Truly Enchanting possibly worth taking on. But yeah, a few opinions there, and yeah, of course, Gavin Cromwell, Quick Susie, and Snellen, of course, in the Chesham, the other one. But yeah, a few opinions there. The draw might well come into it. Enchanting Empress would have a chance if that 25 box is a good one. Obviously, Carl Burt's got a few in here as well. Simon, I quite liked George Bowie's Englemere as well. She keeps doing it from box 1, and then the other side, Michael Bell's Amestress. She was in a similar race to Miss Rascal as well, and then dotted up last time out in a race that she should have dotted up in, but she did anyway. So, yeah, plenty of opinions. 26 runners. Extra places and offers, please.
Yeah, 5 places we're offering here. We've obviously got that Queen Mary price boost with both Make Haste and Truly Enchanting wrapped up at 3-1. I just thought, listen, Wesley, this is the race Wesley Ward's almost got his best record in. He's won it 3 times. He was an American train winner last year. I think when sometimes Wesley Ward comes problems over, it's soft ground at Ascot that don't go so well. But I thought Ultimate Grace looks one which sort of fits the bill. There were years when this would always be starting favourite by virtue of the fact it was trained by Wesley Ward. The fact he's 10-1. I thought he was interesting. Miss Rascal, I know Oliver Cole's very keen on her. She's been quite well back, 50-2 from 9-1, so she's been attracting money. I just thought it was quite interesting that Simon Crisford and Ed Crisford are running a Drestia. I was at Windsor last Monday night with James Knight. He was really keen on this horse. I think he follows the breeze ups quite closely. They paid 420,000. She came third that day. It's a little bit one pace, a little bit green. The fact they put her out again 9 days later is either to give the owner a Royal Ascot runner, or else maybe they think she's capable of showing up well. And she's a massive price at 50-1. So, and given what happened in the Coventry today, probably worth maybe trying to find the best outsider and chucking a few quid at that. So that might be the one for me. But so yeah, I think Wesley Ward's, the what's it called, Ultimate Grace. That'd be the one for me based on trainer form in the last few years.
Yeah, you're right. 4 times with Wesley Ward, 1 with George Weaver, of course. The Americans do quite well in this. A couple of best bets from our viewers in this. Rob Britton, Kasaya, to start paying back a huge price tag, is his best bet of the day. And I think there was another one as well. Alex Dunnigan, his best bet is Ultima Grace here in this Queen Mary at 10-1. Moving on then from the Queen Mary to the Queen's Vase. Very different proposition entirely. A mile and 6 the distance for these 3-year-olds. And yeah, proper staying test here. And pedigree man Tom Segal probably has done well in this race over the years, because you need to have a good pedigree, Tom. I'll get your opinion in a second. I'll come to Rodders first, but before sorry, the camera switch there has completely thrown me off there. I thought, well, should I talk to Tom now? We'll just see him making a noise. But Illinois is 2-1, Highbury 130, Birdman 9-2, Maydar 9-1, Grosvenor Square 10s, the Equator is 12s, Mina Rashid 12s, and then 25-1, and bigger the rest. But yeah, proper classic middle distance sires you want in this kind of race. Just one from the Lingfield Derby trial. 15 horses have come from the Lingfield Derby trial. We've had a few winners. 8 of them have placed. And to be fair, this year's Lingfield Derby trial looked a bit of a cracker. Yeah,
it did. Yeah, I was there that day, and the winner was Ambiently Friendly, was massively impressive, and went on to finish second in the Derby, and would have been a really good winner of Derby, take out City of Troy, of course. So I think on that, Illinois has obviously got the best form in the race, hasn't he? And Aidan O'Brien's won it 4 times out of the last 10, I think, and more than that before the last 10. So it's a race that he really has done well in. But since they changed it to a mile and 6 furlongs, the race has stayed at home 5 times out of 7. So it's almost like some of the British trainers are now more willing to run their better horses in it. We've had Stradivarius run in it. I think Elderoff ran, didn't he? A couple of Group 1 winners there. So you can make a case for the British runners, but purely on form, and I handicap the the staying division for Racing Post, I have to stick with Illinois because he's top on my figures, and if I'm not following my own figures, how can I expect anyone else to?
What's the point of doing it, mate?
Exactly.
Quite frankly. It was a funny one because you watched that race back last time out, and obviously it was a little bit of a pace collapse, and he looked awkward under pressure, and then went again. He almost sort of rolled around a little bit, thought he was going to, pack it in and drop out a little bit, and then pulled further clear of the third. So it was a good staying performance. But is there any worry about that awkwardness late on?
Well, that is Lingfield, though. It's a weird track,
yeah,
isn't
that
it?
is
But
true, yeah.
I wouldn't be too concerned. Probably more concerned about the ground. I mean, all his form last season was on soft ground, but it was pretty quick that day at Goodwood. He seemed to handle it okay. His stablemate Highbury was like a long-term favourite for this, and we wanted to be against Highbury at a short price because I thought he didn't really have the form to win it, even though he was wildly impressive at Leopardstown. And as it is, Ryan Moore appears to have chosen Illinois. However, Wayne Lorden has ridden Highbury on all of his runs so far and is back on. So whether you should read too much into those jockey bookings, we'll see. But like I say, I mean, it's a bit boring, but I think Illinois will win. If I was going to throw you one at a bigger price, the other Aidan horse, the Equator, could run well. I thought that might improve for really fast ground. Pedigree suggests it might, but Illinois for me.
Okay, Illinois is a 2-1 shot here, Tom. Yeah, like I said, this is a proper pedigree race over the years, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm going to call Illinois, though, aren't you?
It's a lummox.
It's a lummox. He's a bit of an old lummox, isn't he? He's brilliantly bred.
Well, he's a young lummox, actually. He's a fresh lummox to the scene.
He's just in the lummox camp as we speak. Just thought he looked a bit awkward and a bit gangly. I know it's Lingfield and whatever, just a bit slow. Now, this race often does go to slow. I mean, it's had a Gold Cup, Irish St. Leger winner, St. Leger winner. We had Stradivarius won it, obviously. Gregory, who I think is going to run a massive race in the Gold Cup, won it last year. So it goes to, these sort of staying horses can win it. I don't know about Illinois. I just didn't like his sort of demeanour at Lingfield. Yes, it's the best form, but not convinced. The rest are much of a muchness. I do quite like Highbury. I know he's not got the form to win, but I was really taken. The time was excellent. The sectionals were really good when he ran away from that field at Leopardstown. The form isn't anywhere near as good at Illinois, and I'm certainly not worried that Wayne Lorden's riding him because I think they like giving their jockeys that don't often get a chance in the highlight to ride some of their good horses in these races at Royal Ascot. I don't think it's been a choice at all. So I'm still sticking with Highbury as much as not a great fan of the Guns.
Okay, there we go. Big lummox it is, yeah, of course. Highbury is 130 shot, and again, pedigrees are always fascinating as well, Simon, because obviously he's by Galileo Highbury, but the dam was a sprinting 2-year-old, and it's always interesting where these the bloodlines mix up and create what looks a bit of a slogger, a bit of a stayer in the shape of Highbury. But yeah, it's a bit top heavy, this market, but kind of understandably so, I think, given the form of the Lingfield Derby trial and the fact that Highbury looks so impressive. Yeah,
exactly. And Aidan O'Brien's got that great record, and he's got 4 in the field. He's loaded this, hasn't he? And then you've got Jessica Harrington's Birdman in there at 9-2. So yeah, it's really sort of Simon and Ed Crispin and Andrew Balding leading the charge to try and keep up that decent home record for the British trainers. Illinois looks really solid, doesn't he, on that Derby trial form at Lingfield. We got an in the nose special. He's got 4 in the race, Aidan O'Brien. To train the winner of the Queen Vase and the Prince of Wales, where obviously he's got the favourite Auguste RODIN is 11-4 from 9-4. For me, I think Illinois, this is, on a day when I think it looks quite competitive through the card, I think this favourite looks really solid. 2-1 now, Illinois. Ryan Moore obviously did ride a winner's day. Aidan O'Brien didn't train a winner yesterday, but I think both of them could be in for a really decent day tomorrow.
Okay.
Simon Clare, you Arsenal season ticket holder, not going for Highbury. I'm disappointed in you, mate.
Well, it's not called the Emirates, is it? I mean, Highbury is like old news.
Yeah, but you're old like me. We remember Highbury.
I know. You can't bet horses on that basis. Obviously, I will have a few quid on Highbury for old times. No, a very good point, Tom. Very good, Tom. I feel like a traitor.
That's it. There you go. Tom's really put you in your place there. You're right. It's the old Arsenal when you used to win titles.
Oh, thanks, Ross. You just weighed in with your size 10s there.
That's fine. Size 12s to be specific, but so I'm going to give you a real kick in. But and to be fair, I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan as well. So not that I've got anything against Arsenal, but we would have won 2 cups if it wasn't for you. But Birdman is the nap in the Queen Vase for Dunners tomorrow as well. And Birdman is currently a 9-2 shot. And Mike Boy is also in agreement with that one. Right, before we all start the fisticuffs over the football, let's move on to the 3:45 at Ascot tomorrow, the Duke of Cambridge Stakes, Group 2. Excuse me. Fillies and mares. Simon's got his own back, he's poisoning me water. Deep breath and on we go. Rogue Millennium 11-4, Laurel is 7-2, Ocean Jewel 7-1, Briege 9-1, Royal Dress is 10-1, Running Lion 11-1, Gregorina 14s with Doom, and then bigger price as the rest. 14 of them line up here for this Group 2 contest over the straight mile. And yeah, really interesting lineup here, albeit the front two in the betting, both 5-year-olds here, including last year's winner Rogue Millennium, Tom. Got some really improving 4-year-olds, which has tended to be the way to go in this race. But you've got the proven track form of Rogue Millennium. You've got the class of Laurel from I mean, it feels like quite a while ago now, doesn't it? To be fair, she was showing a class, and then you've got plenty in behind who have got more to come and maybe have been unlucky in similar events. But again, those front two seem to take a lot out of the market to my eyes.
Yes, track 1 and 2 as well, Ross. It's on the round course this race this year, isn't it? Yeah, on the round course this race this year.
Yes,
Normally on the straight track. So it's track 1 and 2 on the inside. Don't fancy Laurel. Anyone who saw her workout last week with Inspiral couldn't back her. She pulled up, basically. But she's got the best form. So from stall 1, I think, I don't know what Ramal's going to do, but I don't know. It's not one for me, given her absence from the track. Rogue Millennium obviously won the race last year. That was on the straight track, and this is on the round track. Perfectly reasonable comeback run, hampered up the rail at the Curragh, but I can't see why Ocean Jewel is 3 times her price. Because Ocean Jewel won that race at the Curragh. I know she's got a penalty, it was a Group 2 there, but I loved her. I love her. She's only had 8 or so runs. She's a half-brother to Mother Earth, who won the 1,000 guineas, half-sister to Mother Earth, who won the 1,000 guineas. I know she's got a penalty. I like her draw. I like the ground for her. I think she's really classy. I think she's a Group 1 caliber filly. I don't think any of the other ones in behind her are, including Briege and Royal Dress and Running Lion. And we've had it. We've had a few shots with these, and I don't think they're possibly the classiest fillies we've ever seen. So it's all about Ocean Jewel for me. I think the 3 at the top are Group 1 caliber fillies. None of the rest are, and at the prices, you've got to be with Ocean Jewel, especially with the other 2 drawn in those boxes, which will need luck.
You know what? I played a win back last time out, Tom, and I thought this is a Tom Segal horse. I can feel it because she had that. From visual watching that video back last time. You're right. She's got that class. She travelled like a dream. She cruised into it, then quick and clear. And I know that the Rogue Millennium was possibly unlucky being stuck on the rail, but it was visually impressive.
Exactly, and she's bred to. It's only her second run over a mile.
Yeah.
First time over a mile was against Tahira and her pals in the Group 1 at the Matron, is it? She ran perfectly well. She got behind and got stopped in her run and came home quite nicely. She wasn't beaten that far. Not Tahira's and those lot in this race, are they? I mean, that's not brilliant. I think she'll like the ground. I think the trip will be perfect for her. I just think people are saying, oh, she's got a penalty. £3 penalty against some horses that are not as good as her. So for me, it's all about her. I think she'll win this, provided, Rogue Millennium was obviously very dangerous because she's classy. But she's got to get a bit of luck, and she's got to improve on her comeback run, because when she got out, she didn't exactly explode off the bridle, did she, when she got out behind Ocean Jewel last time? Ocean Jewel, she wasn't gaining on it at the line. So for me, I'm quite keen on Ocean Jewel. I think she'll go really well. Yeah,
of course. Charette and Saffron Beach have won this race with penalties in recent years. The one I'm going to have a little bit on Running Lion though here at Rodders. I mean, everyone talked about that Epsom race last time out. This was unlucky, that was unlucky. Running Lion didn't get a run at any point during the home straight and coasted home. But Really interesting, I thought. Stamina is a real asset in this race. We were talking about it earlier, horses dropping back in trip. 86 horses have run in this in the past 15 years who've got form over 10 or 12 furlongs. 10 have won, another 16 have placed. The last 2 winners, including Royal Millennium, had run in the Oaks. The 3 years before that, there was a couple of runners each year that had run over 1.5 miles. They all placed as well. If they go a good clip on this round track, I think Running Lion and whipping around the iron outside might find the drop back to 1 mile very much in her favour.
I agree with you, Ross. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, this is the one that I fancy, Running Lion. I
didn't know that, by the way. I realised that. I thought I've completely...
You thought you'd come up with something. You thought you'd broken the atom, didn't you?
Well, I definitely
split the atom.
Yeah, I did. I thought that was great, and you'll go, oh, I can see that, but the one I fancy is this. And
well, usually I do, but yeah,
stolen your thunder.
We're singing from the same hymn sheet.
That's all right. Let's do it.
She's got a bit of a reputation, hasn't she? Having sort of thrown away the win at Newmarket 2 starts ago, and of course last time out, just hanging all over the shop, getting no run, and then she didn't do anything when she did get a run. But Oshim wasn't that hard now. She was only beaten 3.5 lengths. Epsom's definitely not her course, 100% not.
Not sure it's anyone's course, really. But.
Well, probably not. But she's got good form at galloping stiff tracks. Salisbury last year was one of her best performances when she was second to State Occasion, who's finished close up in a couple of Group 1 since. She had that race 1 all ends up. I actually backed her at Newmarket 2 starts ago when she was beaten by Stay Alert. I mean, I was off to collect.
She was about, I think she was 1 to 20 running or something. It was ridiculous.
1.01 she hit.
Did she?
Minimum,
oh,
yeah. So when I was in the Silver Ring, obviously in the cheap seats, down at 2 furlong pole, and she came past me, and I was like, well, this is 1. And I went off to pick my money up, and by the time I got there, and so because you can't see the screen in the Silver Ring, by the time I got there, I saw the screen, and she hadn't won at all. She'd been beaten 3 or 4 lengths. But at the 2 furlong pole, at mile pole, she was miles ahead. I think she wants a real strongly run mile on fast ground as well, because I think she's got a fast pound pedigree personally. Royal Lions have got a decent record on fast ground, and they've got some good form at Ascot as well. And if they go fast, we saw a horse with a similar sort of profile today, Isra, didn't we?
Yeah.
He's been called a few names in the past, but when they get a fast pace, he travels like a dream and came home a good winner. So I'm with you, Ross. Running Lion. I always call her Roaring Lion. Running Lion.
There we go. Well, I hope we'll be sharing that crown tomorrow. Running Line is an 11 to 1 shot then here. So we're all taking on the front two of the market here, Simon. What about you?
Yeah, me too. I think it's again open competitive race, four places each way. We're offering an in the nose special to back all the Irish trained horses wrapped up 7 to 4. Works out about even money. You want to back Rogue Millennium, Ocean Jewel, Gregorina, and Magical Sunset separately. So if you think one of them will win, we are 7 to 4, an Irish trained winner. Again, I'll be looking to take on the front few. Sorry, that's my son ringing me. The one I thought was quite interesting is Doom. She's beautifully bred out of Dank, that fantastic Breeders' Cup filly mare turf winner for Michael Stout. Dubai is the sire. Dank really improved as a 4-year-old, had solid 3-year-old form, but stepped up again at 4 and then ran very well at 5. Ran really well on fast ground. This Doom won a listed race at Fontainebleau on very soft in November. A decent first run back on soft ground at the Curragh, I think it was, behind Gregorina. I think this fast ground mile could really suit her. She has been nibbled at, and I think she's worth a decent bet each way. And what I think is quite an open race full of really quite nice fillies and mares, but worth taking a bit of value. I'd go for Doom.
Okay, thank you very much there. Doom it is, and again, you can't be a PR man and tip Doom. So it's a direct opposite of what you're here to bring. Deary me.
I know. I'm sorry. God, I'm breaking all my rules today.
That's all right. It's okay. It's probably the second best first-person shooter from 20 years ago. But for any young gamers in the chat. Anyway, Rogue Millennium 4 to 1 nap of the week for Darren Walker in this race. So there we go. That's the Duke of Cambridge Stakes. We're all taking on the market leaders. The Prince of Wales Stakes is up next. It is a Group 1 of a really interesting mix of horses here lining up against each other. And we've had Lummoxes, we've had in and out performers, and then we've got Auguste Rodin, whose profile is beginning to get more confusing the more you look at him. He's 15 to 8. He's up against Inspiral, who's skipped the Queen Anne and decided to go up in trip here and at 2-1. We've got a fair few French raiders here. Horizon D'Or is the shortest price of them at 13-2. Alflaila, a bit of a course horse as well, is 8-1. Blue Rose Sen is 9-1. Then a big jump out to Zarakem at 20s. Royal Rhyme 22s. The esteemed Lord North is at 22s as well. You've also got Hans Andersen, and Snobbish is the outsider of the lot. Yeah, Auguste Rodin favourite here at 15-8, Tom Segal. Is he a lummox, or does he have his own name, all of his own making? Because, is he a world beater? Is he a superstar? Or is he the most in and out Group 1 horse I've ever seen in my life?
I don't know. A bit of all of those, isn't he? I like him, though. I like him in this race. Obviously, he's got the nightmare runs that we all know about, especially the one in the King George was impossible to fathom, really, because he came in on the back of a Derby win there. So didn't quite get that one, but it could have been down to the ground. I like him in this race. I think the ground is the total key to him here. I thought his run at the Curragh last time was as good as he's ever been, if truth be told. I thought the time was just off the charts good. And I think White Birch is an absolute superstar. So I think the rain got into the ground a bit that day. He's going to be better because that was probably his first run of the season. We all know how Aidan's improved for a run. I think he's going to win this. I really do. I mean, if you're comparing last time out runs, Auguste Rodin's last run against White Birch was infinitely better than in Spirals. I know the Golston horses ran very well today. Isra and the one in the last probably should have won, shouldn't it? La May or whatever it's called. All too hard, went too soon. Lots of things went wrong there. So I could see Inspiral coming, running well, but I think Auguste Rodin will win this. I don't fancy any of the others.
Okay. To be fair to Inspiral, that Lockinge's obviously been given a boost as well today, and she's fascinating because she's spent most of her life running over a mile, but she was wildly impressive the way she rattled home on a one start under these conditions as well. Big ride for Kieran Schumacher, of course, who again, we've mentioned, loads of people mentioned it, he's been getting pelters on social media, big shoes to fill and everything, but this is probably the first ride in a while where I've thought, okay, she has to be in the mix here, so there's a bit of pressure on her. But again, then those two take a large portion of the market.
Yeah, they do. Obviously, Auguste Rodin's got the best form in the race if he turns up on his very best. But he has been beaten 127 lengths on his one run at Ascot.
That's true.
Which would be a slight concern to me, taking a short price about him. And I prefer Inspiral. I think this is her bag. 1 mile 2 furlongs around the bend like this on fast ground, which she's going to get. And I don't know how much pace there's going to be in this race either, and her speed from a mile might be decisive. You've got to remember that Auguste Rodin, of course, is coming on back in trip, isn't he? A lot of his best performances last year were over a mile and a half. Now it might well be that Ryan goes out there and doesn't let it turn into a sprint and tries to make the most of Auguste Rodin's stamina. We don't know what he's going to do, but is
there a possible that Wayne Lorden is in there on Hans Andersen to give him something to shoot at?
Possible, isn't it? We've seen it before.
We saw it today.
Yeah, we saw it today. But even if that happens, I still think Inspiral will travel beautifully through the race, like she always does on this ground. I'm not too worried about the Lockinge run last time. That was a strange race, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing got into it from behind. We've already seen Charing come out and beat Audience, the horse that beat him.
Royal Witch Hunter was fourth.
Witch Hunter was third, yeah. Inspiral was fourth. It was just a weird race, I thought, and I'll be happy to put a line through it. And Inspiral for me is unexposed over a mile and a quarter. I think she might well improve further. So I'm with Inspiral.
Yeah, you're hoping for the old slingshot round the wide outside and rattle down the middle.
Yeah, no, it'd be great, wouldn't it, for Kieran, if he could get a big one over the line. He'll just take the pressure off, won't it? Because we all know he's a good jockey, and it's just getting that first big one under your belt, isn't it?
Yeah, especially on a horse who, Frankie got stick for messing one up from Gosden as well. So, it's swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Horizon D'Or's 32. The one I'm going to throw in here, I thought was a bit interesting, Tom, was a horse called Zarakem, who's by Zarek. Who's got a really good record on good ground. This horse absolutely rattled home a couple of times over 10 furlongs. And then last time out in that Group 1, it was sent off favourite, but was stuck wide. Maxime Guyon basically sent this horse on. Him and the other front runner faded out the back. But that other front runner was Crypto Force, who was third behind White Birch. The horse who finished last, Fantastic Moon, came out and won a Group 2 next time out. Horizon Door, Feed the Flame, Hyazark, they've all finished placed in Group 1 company. He's the one I was looking at thinking, he's 20 to 1, he'll love conditions. If he's held up out the back and comes with a run, I thought he was a bit big.
Well, yeah, look, he might be a bit big, but I don't think he's in the class of Auguste Rodin and Inspiral, and that's how I look at races, Ross. It is potential for him that if they don't run up to form, I tell you, what's the point of horse racing? You're trying to get to. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's a big field. I think they're light years ahead. Myself, Horizon Door's got some good form, and I think he might like the ground, and he was third in the Champion Stakes here, so you can see him running well. But I'll be really disappointed if one of the top two don't win, and I think Auguste Rodin will win it.
Okay, that said, I'm having slight echoes of last year, though, Simon, where we've had a few of these renewals, and Mostadaff and State of Rest and Lord North, and I mean they're good horses. In hindsight, you think, oh yeah, they're good horses, but they really took scalps on the day, didn't they? And they often get a top heavy market in this race, and like I said, we've had some short price horses beaten.
Yeah, we have. And look, I think, we've got Jim's Mount Alflela, in the rail, very unexposed. I mean, Jim's blog, obviously, he talked up Israel yesterday. He said he's a horse I think very highly of. First run of the season, but he's been away from a racehorse Gallop. Was fifth in an Irish Champion behind Auguste Rodin, wasn't it? But he missed the start, got too far back that day. If the race had panned out differently, he could have been right there at the finish. I think he's got a very good chance in this race. He will be in the mix here if he reproduces that Champion Stakes form. And most importantly, he loves fast ground. So I think he's got a decent each-way chance. I take Tom's point. The front two do look standout on form. Inspiral, all the money in the last few hours has been for Inspiral. Auguste Rodin taking a walk. It was 13 to 8 Auguste Rodin, 5 to 2 Inspiral. They're now barely separated by a sliver. 15 to 8 Auguste Rodin, 2 to 1 Inspiral. It'll be very interesting to see whether the boys back Auguste Rodin tomorrow. I think you'd want them to. They do have a habit of the money does tend to come for these Aidan O'Brien horses when they're really well fancied. So I think it'd be quite interesting to see the market tomorrow and see whether Inspiral ends up favoured or whether the money does come for Auguste Rodin. Just a quick one. Ryan Moore, we've got another In the Know special. Pretty worth calling this out now. Ryan Moore to ride 3 or more winners tomorrow. He's 4 to 1 from 100 to 30. Really strong book. Obviously, he's got Illinois, we talked about. He's got Auguste Rodin here. He's got Treasure Isle, we'll come to in the last race, the Windsor Castle. We've got 6 to 1 shot, Truly Enchanting in the first to Queen Mary. Laurel, of course, we touched on, favourite for the Duke of Cambridge, as well as Airy Empire for Stite and Twirling at 9 to 1. So he's got 5 favourites out of 7 rides. That would be the sort of day that bookies would fear if Ryan Moore rides loads of winners. But we're 4 to 1 for him to ride 3 or more winners. But here, I'm going to go each way Alflela, stick with the faith in our Coral Ambassador to ride a decent race here. And maybe could do a Mostadaff and beat the front two.
Okay, thank you very much, Simon. Shout out Tom Leach. Inspiral is his nap of the day tomorrow. Lord North the Place, as Frizzy Red. And what else have we got here? Inspiral can't improve further. David Biggs thinks that she will, though. And that's about it here for this 425. A cracking renewal of the Prince of Wales's stakes. Moving on then to the Royal Hunt Cup, a big field over a mile as we always get. 30 of them lining up on fast ground. A Wild Tiger is 7 to 1 favourite. Real Gain 9 to 1. Coeur d'Or is 9 to 1, as we say in Yorkshire. Beshtani is 10 to 1. Sunny Less Than 12s. Aryan Power 14. Streets of Gold 14s. Tempers 14s, and Bigger Prices the rest. Again, a huge cavalry charge. But with a favourite that I kind of marked off after winning at Goodwood as a cracking chance in the Buckingham Palace. But they've stepped up in trip here for Wild Tiger, for the boys in blue. But Simon Straw, of course, won this with Real World a few years ago, who turned out to be a very good horse indeed. But I'll come to you first for this one, Graeme. What's your strategy when you have a big field like this? Do you have a certain angle? Do you go through runner by runner? Do you have sort of certain, not trends, but things you like to look out for? What's your process?
I just try to find the winner.
Right. Yeah, fair, yeah.
So yeah, that's
And how
what
often?
that's
And
what I've done.
how does that go?
Very well sometimes, and not so well on other occasions.
Fair
But we'll see here. So yeah, in attempting to find the winner, I've actually had an anti-post bet in this race. Now, very rare that I bet anti-post, especially at Cheltenham nowadays because of the change in races. But I've been quite lively in the anti-post market at Royal Ascot. Got my juices flowing a little bit.
All right, okay.
The one that I backed was Aryan Power anti-post. He was fourth last year off a £5 lower mark. He picked up a £5 penalty for his win at Nottingham first time out. But when he won that day at Nottingham, I thought to myself, that was a really good performance because they didn't go very fast. He got caught on the wide outside. He was really keen early. He was dead last, and he made up relentless progress in the straight. And I was very pleased to see Ryan Moore booked, having backed him anti-post. When the jockey bookings came in and saw Ryan Moore, that was a real bonus. So
he's got a real Astro King air to him, hasn't he? Very similar type.
Oh yeah, and he's Sir Michael Stout. He's 6 years old, but he's only had 17 runs. It's the sort of Stout horse that will keep him improving. But as always, I always have another look on the day, and I never come down on the one that I've backed anti-post. That's why I do anti-post, it's because I do them and then I'll go off them, but at least I've backed them, haven't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other one that I like is Streets of Gold, who's also on the far side. Two of his best runs have come at Ascot. He was third last year in that weird Jersey Stakes, won by Age of Kings with all the outsiders coming in. And then he was sixth behind the Wizard of Eye in the Victoria Cup last time. Only beaten 2.5 lengths, staying on strongly over 7. If he gets a mile, which I think he will, he could improve. And we know he loves Ascot, which is a massive plus. So I've backed Aryan Power and I've backed Streets of Gold. They're both on the far side. Is it still 1 and 5? But I don't take any notice of the draw. Let's just hope I'm on the right side. Try and find the winner.
Okay, fair enough. A couple against the field then for Graeme Rodway, whose process is to simply try and find the winner. I mean, again, it is pretty simple. My process in Ascot handicaps, Tom, normally is to look for a young horse with proven form over further. Again, and I thought there's quite a few in here, 4-year-olds who'd been running over 10 and would appreciate a really strongly run mile. One of them is the quite well-backed anti-post Real Game, Beshtani, who ran quite well last time out. There's quite a few in here, as you would expect from a 30-runner field.
Yes, make a case for. I get your case there, but I think one horse stands out, Bordeaux. Fancy him quite strongly myself. Started last season on. He's an 8-year-old, trained by Dermot Weld, but he's by Dubawi out of an Irresistible Jewel. You don't get better pedigrees than that. He went up to 100 last year, but I still don't think that's anywhere near his ceiling. If you watch back the Irish Cambridgeshire last year, he won very easily. I know it was only a neck, but he came round. He was drawn in stall 1. Chris Hayes dropped him right out the back, round the outside. He came and he picked up a horse called Crystal Black, who's won 3 since and is now rated 105. He picked him up really easily. He's had excuses since. Dermot Weld might be his only runner at the meeting. Teed him up for this with a run over 6 furlongs at the Curragh last time. Finished off really well in a proper sprint handicap. Love his chance. Love the ground. Simple for me. Don't worry about all the rest.
All right, there we go. Lovely stuff. Corridor then, a simple one. I had a few on the shortlist I thought were interesting. Obviously, Real Game was a bit of an eye-catcher last time. I mean, a lot of an eye-catcher last time out. Metal Merchant never runs a bad race, does he? But I think the draw will come into play here, and 2 on my shortlist which are drawn quite high, apart from Real Game. The other one is Crack Shot, who looked really impressive at Newmarket, absolutely rattled home, landed a bit of a gamble on that occasion. Beaten favourite last time out, but that was in soft ground over at Sandown. But Dual Identity ran really well. He's a proper course specialist the other day, maybe should have won at Sandown. The second Magic Memories won practically on the bridle at Yarmouth next time out. The horse who finished last Classic was just ahead of Dual Identity. I think that form's really good. I can't quite understand why drawn in box 32, Ed Walker, 4-year-old, in rattling form, 25-1. I think seems a bit big to me. But Simon Clare, what did you have on the shortlist in the Royal Hunt Cup? And can we have an extra place or 3, please?
Yeah, we've got 6 places each way. Got to have a couple of goes in this. I'm going to go for Metal Merchant, who's got some good course and distance form. Is in great heart. A couple of decent runs at Newbury. Jack Channon's in good form. David Probert, Coral Ambassador, thinks he's got a very decent chance of giving him a huge, at least a place, if not going reasonably close. I thought Thunderball was very interesting. I know he ran 4th in the spring mile at Newbury, and they really fancied him last time, and he just ran no race. But he was 4th in the Britannia on fast ground last year here. and at a massive price. I always like to back something which has got decent course and distance form, which, if he bounces back to that Newbury run, wouldn't be far away. So there's a couple against the field, but it's very competitive. Wild Tiger, very well backed, 7 from 10. Cordura and Tom Segal factors had the impact there, 9 from 14. They're probably the 2 best backed in the last couple of hours.
Okay, thank you very much, Simon. Jive Turkey, Days of Our Lives each way. Been running some good races. Stays further, has course form. What else have we got? Beshtani for Wathnam Racing, says Sean Matthews, who of course are throwing billions at the game and almost had a winner. But spending the money is one thing. Getting them over the line is very much the hardest bit. Why is Sunny Lissa on the drift? Says Stevens 99. Lee Richardson likes Wild Tiger and Cordor then in the Royal Hunt Cup. 2 more to go at Ascot. Tomorrow we are on to the straight track again. So I got confused earlier on. Of course, this is switched from the round to the straight earlier on. We had one switch from the straight to the round. You can kind of understand why they've done this because we've had 3 runnings of the Kensington Palace Stakes. We're on the round track. Always huge fields, always absolute carnage. Never very fun to watch, but be a different race this year. Summer of Love then 6-1 favourites. Another Saibin Saror trained favourite on the straight track. 13-2 Elim, Twirling 9-1, Doha 10s, Aurora Dawn 11s, Fakama 14s with Azara Palace. Adelaide's is 16-1 and bigger prices the rest. Again, I'll come to you, Tom Segal again. It's going to be a very different race because the 3 on the round track. I mean, well done if you found the winners because they played pretty well, but. Yeah, wasn't good to watch that many horses rattling around that bend, was it?
Well, it just brings luck massively into the equation, doesn't it? It's a much better idea to have this race on the straight track. A handicap, you've got to have these handicaps on the straight track, 20 runner fields, and even more now. Is it more than, you get 20 more than 20 in these days now that it's on the...
25, Tom, 25 this year.
Yeah, so you've got 5 more horses in there. I like much backing horses on the straight track anyway. To sort of know what he's going to get, and I'm looking for my man Jamie Spencer to come good in this. Elim for Ed Bethel had regional run so well today. Big fan of Ed Bethel's. I thought he was a huge eye catcher last year when he won at Musselburgh. I thought she was really good that day, and the form of her red car run this year has worked out really well. She was well backed. Ron O won the race, and he came out and won easily at York last week. I think that would have been a get-it-ready run for this. Spencer's been booked, so I like her a lot. I think she's my main one. I think Summer of Love, finally, I think the market's good here. I think Summer of Love could be anything, as that we always say, but she's only had 3 runs, won 2 of them. Sidewind Sorrel's got a great record on these straight tracks, so he's got to go in. The other one I like is Aurora Dawn for Ed Walker. Really, really impressive over 7 furlongs at Newbury last season on fast ground. She likes fast ground. Question is, will she settle well enough to get the stiff mile here? I think she will. She ran well at Goodwood last time. Got no sort of run up on the rails. One of those ridiculous Goodwood races, which no one enjoys watching ever, where everything got in each other's way, and the one out front won. That horse was Wild Tiger, who is now nearly favourite for the Hunt Cup, or around the favouritism for the Hunt Cup. I think she would have finished 2nd or 3rd to him that day. And provided she settles, and Safi Osborne can get her in behind horses, I think she's going to rattle home. So they would be nothing original. I don't think it's a brilliant race, but Summer of Love is obviously dangerous. But I like Elim first and Aurora Dawn second.
Okay, yeah, lovely stuff. Yeah, I mean, that Ron O winning a big field York handicap over 10 furlongs. I mean, frontal lobe nearly melted. I mean, how many times have I backed this horse at Sutherland Newcastle and it's ran into trouble and finished 5th? But yeah, you're right, that one. Arctic Mountain won. Leadenhall was a bit unlucky, wasn't it?
Be careful.
Pisanello won well.
Yeah.
Next time as well, in good form. So yeah, it's obviously a very, very good race. But yeah, definitely for Ed Bethel, who had a winner at Catterick today as well as a regional. So yeah, you are very much in form. A few on my list. I was hopeful of a big run from Hopeful Rodos. I thought she was well bred. She's got form in with a Great Blasket, which obviously brings in Royal Hunt Cup selection as well. But what was on your shortlist?
Well, I watch a bit of racing TV on Wednesday night when Kempton's on, because Wednesday is the day when I do my tipping in the Racing Post. So I often have a lot of tips running at Kempton, and I happened to be watching when Summer of Love won there. And it was one of those moments where the performance just stood out like a sore thumb on the card. It was just like she went through the race so easily on the front, travelled like an absolute dream, and then put the race to bed well. And did a quick comparison of the times afterwards, and it stacked up quite well, considering how easily she went through the race from the front. I thought it was a really good performance, and I was very interested to see where she was going to go next. And straight after the race, they interviewed Hector Crouch, and Hector Crouch said, "Oh, that was a lovely performance. Yeah, she's really good. I think that the plan is to go for the Kensington Palace, and here she is as favourite. I think she's absolutely the right favourite, and loads of horses have come from Kempton and won races like this." Off the all-weather, so she's definitely the right favourite. At a big price, Salsabila could run well. She was beaten ahead by Breege at the course last year. That form's not bad.
She beat Breege ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry, she beat Breege ahead. Yeah, that form's not bad, is it?
No, not bad at all.
Breege is running in the group race earlier on the card. The ground should suit Salsabila, I thought, and if she reproduces that form, she's not 33 to 1 shot, is she?
Well, I mean, she was 11th. She was 100 to 1 in the Sandringham last year, finished 11th, but she was third on her side, and I thought it was a big eye catcher. I mean, Breege was down this near side, but she was stuck down the middle as well. And then obviously she finished third at Longchamp in Listed Company and then beat Breege. She's a proper course horse, clearly. Yeah,
she loves Ascot, which is always a massive plus in my book on the straight track. Talking about pedigrees, I mean, there's not a better bred horse in training than Doha, is there? I see the stars out of Dual Arc winner Trev. So,
rated 85. Yeah. What's happened there? This is what I mean. This is the joy of. This is one of the big joys of horse racing, isn't it? You get to absolute top class Group 1 horses. You smash them together, and you get an 85 rated handicapper. It just doesn't make sense.
No, sometimes it doesn't. But maybe she's better than that. You'd hope so.
You would hope so. I mean, we've not had much chance to actually see her prove that she's better than that, and she has absolutely dotted up in a maiden over a mile at Windsor, albeit on soft ground. Others to throw into the mix as well. Rodway was on the wrong side at Newmarket last time out and is ridden by, of course, Jim Crowley. And Roaring Success, I thought, was another proper course horse, and that half a length to 2 tempting looks all right, given that horse has won about 14 handicaps since. But I'm sure you're going to talk up Rodway, Simon.
Well, I'll let Jim Crowley do the talking up. He's really, really keen on her. I mean, he had obviously the choice of the two, Hissa Maktoum horses. He picked Rodway, but no surprise to read his blog. I'm absolutely delighted to be riding this filly. You can put a line through a race at Newmarket earlier this year. She wasn't quite sharp enough for that run. She's come on massively. She's a very talented filly who works home like a group horse. I'll be hoping to keep her held up for as long as possible. She's a lovely racing weight. I'm expecting her to run a big race. A big talk up from Jim Crowley for Rodway. I thought Adelaide's looks like she's improved. She was fourth in this last year off a much lower mark, but I thought that was a decent win in the listed race at Kempton with William Buick on board, and he rides her again. So those would be my two against the field at big prices, paying 5 places, and the Tom Segal factor looks like it might make Elim favourite. 13 to 2 now from 9 to 1, challenging at the head of the market with Summer of Love.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Segal matched with Ed Bethel. I mean, it's guaranteed favourite in a big race, isn't it? Absolutely. Last race at Royal Ascot Day 2 then, we have the 28-runner 5 furlong juvenile fun and games, that is the Windsor Castle. Treasure Isle is 7 to 2, Celtic Chieftain 9 to 2, Shadow Army 5 to 1, Point Nerve is 8 to 1, 10 to 1 Hawaiian and Honorary American, 12 to 1 Gambleton, and bigger prices the rest. And of course, there's some absolutely rock solid trends in this. You love a trend, Tom, and it's normally to close your eyes, spin around, and pick one that got beat at Redcar or something. But again, it's another big field, plenty of improvers.
You're trying to wind me up.
I am trying to wind you up. You thought I was going to throw it in there, didn't you? But no, loads of fascinating horses in here. Really impressive winners. Shadow Army's been nominated as Richard Fahey's best chance. Hawaiian's form looks very, very good today after the Coventry, of course. And there we have Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore at the top, 7 or 2. Again, another Ballydoyle horse at the top of the betting in a 2-year-old contest.
Yeah, it's not surprising. That's the way it's just default the bookmakers, isn't it, to put them at the top. I'm not convinced by either of them. I thought, in fact, I would have probably chosen Celtic Chieftain if I was Ryan Moore, but he'll know better than me. I thought Shadow Army had a very good chance showcasing Colt. His horses tend to go very well at Ascot. Liked him a lot at York. Beat a good horse that went on to win a group race in France the next time. I think he'll run really well. I also thought Hawaiian's Newbury debut form was excellent, wasn't it? And they talked about him like he was a proper top-class horse after the Newbury run. And obviously the wheels completely fell off on soft ground at Sandown, but he could leave that form a long way behind here. Obviously the Newbury form's worked out really well. I'm a bit of an Archie the Inventor fan at Ascot. His horse ran a brilliant race in the Coventry again, so named after the old cyclist Vinga Go. I thought he might run well. He only won a small little race. He or a she, must be a he. Only ran a small little race at Chepstow on his debut, but those horses just run out of their skins at Ascot. So I wouldn't be surprised at a big price if he went well.
Yeah, that's Vinga Guard, who I think is...
No, Vinga Go.
Vinga Go, is that right? Okay,
That's
there we go.
how you pronounce it. He's named after the Tour de France, the dual Tour de France winner, Jonas.
I'm not a cycling fan, as you can tell. I'm also, as you might have gathered over several years, occasionally absolutely appalling at pronouncing words, which is
that's what they call him when they're calling out when he wins the Tour de France.
What's that? Sorry, you broke up there.
That's what they call him Vinga Go when he wins the Tour de France. So it's obviously the way he wants it pronounced.
Right. Okay. No, it's fine. No, I'm absolutely bowing to your superior wisdom, Tum Segal. Although also to mention in here, well, the one I quite like is a horse called Ain't Nobody for Kevin Ryan and Jamie Spencer, who absolutely dotted up at Carlisle on the bridle, basically hands and heels, did a really, really strong figure, beat a good horse with good form and a well-backed Carlbert newcomer. And Tom Eves said, give it a couple of cracks in the final half a furlong, and he quick and clear, and he could be in a nice position from that draw. I think 18-1 looks interesting. Graeme Rodway, what was on your Windsor Castle list?
It really confused me, this race, because I had Celtic Chieftain on top of the O'Brien runners. So being ridden by Wayne Lorden, I quickly went through the last 10 years to see if I could find a reason as to why Ryan Moore might be on the wrong one, because Ryan Moore's riding Treasure Isle. And I went through and saw Aidan O'Brien had 3 winners, and they were all ridden by Ryan Moore. So that was a bit disconcerting. Nevertheless, it did record a good time when winning a big field last time with Wayne Lorden on. Ryan Moore's ridden Treasure Isle twice, so maybe there's not a lot in that. Maybe because Wayne Lorden rode first time out, he got to keep the ride.
Well, Ryan Moore picked wrong that day. He was on the 7-4 favourite that was well beaten.
Yeah, so I thought Celtic Chieftain could run well, and Tom obviously has already mentioned it, but Archie Watson, as his horses just run amazingly well on the straight track at Ascot, and his juvenile today was beating a nose at 40-1. So there's no way you can have. Well, I was going to call it Vingegard.
Yeah, that's worse than what I did.
So that's worse than you did, and it's nowhere near what Tom's saying.
Yeah.
But there's no way that can be the price it is, given the way that Archie Watson's 2-year-old ran today, and the way that all of his horses run, Bradsell and St Lawrence last year, which are backed again for the Wokingham this year.
Was it Army of Ethos? I think they had loads in the frame as well.
Yeah, his horses just take off on the Ascot straight track. They're trained for this meeting, obviously, and there's just no way the Vinga Go or whatever it's called.
Still can't get it.
That's good. That Vinga Go tomorrow, I reckon that'll be 16-1.
Yeah. Okay.
At the very biggest.
So you're giving Vinga Go a real good go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like Tom and you.
Yeah. There we go. I presume he's Danish. Tom, given that name.
Yeah. Swedish, Danish, can't remember. He just wins. That's all I know. Every time I back him, he wins.
Okay. Fair enough. Simon Clare, any appalling pronunciations or selections for you in this finale?
I think we're paying 5 places on this. Another very competitive 2-year-old race at Royal Ascot. Ryan Moore obviously rides the favourite. Reminder that to ride 3 or more winners is 4-1. He's got 5 favourites, and this is the last of those. The one I'm going to back is Gamble Don. We saw last year Wesley Ward's not the only one from America who comes over to win Group 1-2 or Group Race 2 wins at Ascot when Crimson Advocate won for George Weaver. And this Gamble Don, let's just do the pronunciation for the trainer, Jose Francisco D'Angelo, won at Gulfstream Park, very, very fast type. Emisael Jaramillo is the jockey, I think. God knows. Anyway, he's 12-1. I'm going to back this American speedster on good to firm ground to place home each way.
I was expecting a bad pronunciation. You gave me 2. It was beautiful. Perfect 10. Really was the perfect 10. Okay, that's enough. That's enough butchering of pronunciations. We'll get the naps on day 2 of Royal Ascot in a second. But first, it's an ad.
Here they come, racing lovers of the UK in the Coral Vat Derby. Ladies' Day ladies leading the Tracky Brigade. Top Hat and Tails overtaking the country gentry. Tweed surely chafing. On the outside, Maggie and her cuppa. Into the home straight, it's Danny's Stag 2 clawing their way up the field. Nan's got the experience, but does she have the legs? But it's the bloke who doesn't know which horse is his. He's won it, and he doesn't even know it. It's the fans that make racing what it is. Coral, we're here for it.
Okay, right. A few more naps from the listeners as well, which I didn't get a chance. Matt Ackerman's nap is Royal Dress. Stevens 99, he's going for Hawaiian in the last, and Thunderball in the Hunt Cup for Miller 26. But what about our panel? Royal Ascot Day 2 nap, starting off with Mr. Graeme Rodway.
I'm going to go for Running Lion in the 3:45, the Villiers race, the Duke of Cambridge. Is that what it's called?
That's exactly what it's called.
Good.
It used to be the Windsor Forest, didn't it?
Yeah.
Which is where your brain's trying to remember which monarch. Tom Segal, what about you?
Cawdor for me in the Hunt Cup.
Okay. Simon, Clare, and you?
I think Jim Crowley's really keen on this Rodway. It's a big price. She's 16-1 for the Kensington Palace.
Okay. And I agree entirely with my left honourable friend here, Mr. Graeme Rodway, Running Lion. But seeing as he's gone for that, I'll go for Miss Rascal as next best in the Queen Mary for Paul and Oliver Cole. Right, we'll be back, of course, at the same time tomorrow night. Slightly later on Thursday, of course, we'll be here at 7 o'clock because you'll be watching England scrape past Denmark with your teeth gritted, of course. But tomorrow, 6:30 for more Royal Ascot fun and games. Good luck. See you then.